Welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. My name is Dave Yusta. I'm the president of the Managed Service Providers Association of America. And today we have a managed service provider who's going to be speaking to you. Austin, welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Pleasure to be here.
All right. So, Austin, you are the CEO of i2secops. I got that right, correct?
Yes.
Okay, great. We're going to go into that in a few minutes here. So you're the CEO of i2secops, an MSP that operates nationally as well as internationally, which again, I'm going to ask you a few questions here in a minute. But before we get into all that information and before we get into you and a bit about the company, give us a bit about you and who you are and your background.
Yeah. As the CEO, it's been quite a journey to reach this point, but my background's kind of extensive. It's a transition from an interest in computer engineering, which led to a few hobbies in my early years. But I decided that I wanted to join the military for the U.S. Went in and joined the U.S. Navy as a nuclear machinist mate. Got out early due to a medical injury and wanted to continue my adventure into the world of IT and computer science. So I joined up a company installing infrastructure cabling, access control systems, and IP cameras. Went back to school and completed my degrees in cybersecurity as well as a master's in cyber operations. Worked as a systems administrator for a DoD contracting company, and then worked for an MSP prior to joining i2 as an IT security consultant. And I've been with i2 now for almost 3 years.
All right. So you said something that caught my attention there.
Mhm.
And correct me if I get this wrong, yeah. So you were in the Navy as a nuclear engineer. Did I get that right?
Nuclear machinist mate, yeah.
All right.
So
What
my
does
job
that mean?
essentially, yeah. So my job essentially was to work on the pump systems, the valves, the piping, along with the main steam systems for the nuclear side of aircraft carriers and submarines for the U.S. Navy.
So you got to see some of the secret security things, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. How long were you in the Navy?
3 years, just shy of 3 years. So
Okay,
yeah.
so done a tour and then moved on out and came into
Mm.
civilian sector, right?
Yep. Yep.
Okay, great. Tell us a bit about i2secops and what is the history there?
Yeah, so i2secops actually started with i2 Solutions, our parent company over in Germany. They started up just a little shy of 26 years ago by our founder, Thomas Vegan. And it basically started with Microsoft Access as a platform and developing databases and forms in Microsoft Access. And it slowly branched into more software development, working closely with our customers. And then it branched into remediation, IT security consulting, action plan development, documentation, security operations, and much more. And so one of our clients a few years ago asked us, "Hey, could we establish a company in the U.S. market so that way we could have that support in a local time zone for our sites in the U.S." And the founding partners for i2secops said, "Absolutely, let's do it." And i2secops was formed just a little over 3 years ago.
Okay, so 3 years, relatively new MSP. It sounds like even though you're a new MSP, you got a very expansive reach across national, international borders, which is fantastic, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay, before we came on live here, you and I were speaking, and you said that a lot of your clients are large enterprise, and now you're working with smaller enterprise as well, right?
Hmm.
Okay,
Correct.
so tell us about the change, or maybe not change, maybe that's the wrong word. Tell us a bit about the inclusion of the smaller enterprise and why you guys went that route as well.
Hmm. Yeah, so we've been working with large and enterprise clients for many, many years now, since basically the beginning. And we love working with our customers. They're fantastic. We love working with the different sites and getting to know them and creating this very solid relationship with them. But we wanted to include the SMBs as well in our customer portfolio to provide additional support to them as well that we can bring from our experience with the large and enterprise clients that they might want to have or may need to have for their compliances and their frameworks that they may need to follow, but also to get them that additional support that we can provide them based on our experience as well, to kind of spread that security knowledge, that infrastructure support, and ensure that they have the proper standing for business continuity, so their processes don't come to a grinding halt, and they can continue to have that success that they're looking to have with their business.
Okay. Also, I'm going to ask you to come a little bit closer to your mic. You were fading out there a little bit. All right. You're a new MSP. Well, I wouldn't say new MSP. You've been here for a few years already, but
Hmm.
there's some MSPs who have been around for 25 years, right?
Yeah.
And they've seen everything. You guys who are under that 5-year mark, you are seeing a lot of the business problems with a fresh set of eyes,
Hmm.
where a lot of these older MSPs don't see that anymore. What do you guys see that is changing in the industry, is changing with companies that they are struggling with, and why they actually even need an MSP?
Hmm. Yeah, the big thing nowadays that we come across is having the proper coverage in the internal teams for IT departments. There always seems to be a struggle in ensuring that there's enough of a workforce to cover your infrastructure, to ensure that your servers are operating properly, that your network doesn't have any issues, and that you're able to continue and have a solid connection for your endpoint devices. Being that companies are trying to find ways to improve efficiency in their own structure with their employees and in their teams and divisions, that continues to be the struggle that we see is that amount of workforce that they have. So having that MSP that can provide you that additional support, that backup in case you have an employee on vacation, for example, and they're just out of reach, because
Yeah,
you're trying to take a little breather, right? That MSP can come in and help take care of any issues you might have if you have a server that goes down or a switch that needs to be configured. Ensuring that you have a proper MSP can allow for business continuity to continue strongly and securely. Again, to minimize that downtime process that you might experience.
okay. I'm going to throw a curveball question here at you, so I hope you don't mind here. All right.
Mhm.
With what you just said, what do you think is going to happen in the next 5 years with the way technology is going?
It'll continue to advance. It'll continue to be more complicated. Technology has evolved rapidly over the last 20 years. We see it in our everyday lives, even in our own homes. For example,
Yeah,
we've crossed the bridge from going from our standard coax antenna style internet connections that we plug in with our internet service provider to incorporating fiber as the new standard for internet, right?
yeah,
And with that additional growth in technology comes the more complex requirement in the hardware and the configurations. But in today's world, you also have the growing threats of being hacked one way or another. Information getting leaked in ways you don't want, or having just a breach in your infrastructure, which is always a concern, right? So,
yeah.
um, with the overall growth as well as with AI that we've seen over the last year or so, with the concern growing in AI models now being able to provide threat actors with a way to, you know, get past that security layer, um, always ensuring that we have the upper hand and our security knowledge is always going to be relevant in IT.
Yeah, I love speaking to MSPs who are usually under that 5-year mark, because what you see is not what MSPs see. Like I said earlier on, have been in the industry for long. I've been in this industry for like 12, 13 years now, um, and sometimes I'm blind to the changes as well. So coming back to that original question that I asked you,
Mm-hmm.
you see a lot of these changes in the companies. I get that part. Okay.
Yeah.
You also see companies who are saying, I'm not too worried about it. It's not going to happen to me. That happens all the
Mhm.
time. We know that.
Yeah.
But with the changes that you've just described and the complications that you've just described, what do you think is going to happen to a lot of those SMBs, even large enterprise sometimes, that just ignore the warning signs?
Yeah. The biggest threat that I can see with that is, they continue to operate like everything's okay. And
Yeah,
in some cases, that's fine for a little bit, that short duration. But for the long term, it's dangerous. Because once your technology is behind, once it's no longer supported by the vendors and it's no longer being patched, you have that issue of you're now even more exposed to the outside world. And all it takes is one potential issue, one potential breach, one threat actor taking advantage of that to shut down your entire operation. The additional thing too is the longer you wait to upgrade your infrastructure, to upgrade your equipment, your hardware, the more in danger you are of that equipment failing. And if you don't have the redundancy, you don't have the ability to adapt quickly because of your infrastructure not being updated, now you're going to be out of operations for even longer, and there's no telling when that could, be returned to normal operation.
All right, let's do it. I'm going to do a quick like little scenario here.
Hmm.
Let's say I am a potential client of yours, and
Hmm.
I'm someone who says to you, "Yes, I know all that information, but it doesn't bother me. I'm not worried about it." What do you say to someone like that?
That they might want to take a second look.
Okay.
You might want to take a second look. And the reason behind that, honestly, is everyone will search for comfortability in both their place of residence and of course in their workplace, right? That's always something we search for, is that comfortability, to be comfortable where we are.
Yeah.
But when it comes to IT, being comfortable could be a sign that you might want to take a second look. We were talking earlier, you and I, and showing like, oh, we're a little nervous about this, myself, anyway, and it's never a bad thing to be a little nervous, to be a little concerned, to be a little, um, I would say, probably hesitant in ensuring that your infrastructure
Sure.
is as solid as a rock, right? Because in having that idea that there's always something that you could look at, always something that might need a slightly different configuration to increase that redundancy, to increase that solid architecture, um, is a good thing, I think. So
Okay.
if we have a client that says like, oh, I'm comfortable where I am, then we'd recommend let's take a second look. Let's see if we really are comfortable.
And I don't know if you said this intentionally, but I just put this together. Like your company name is i2,
Mhm.
right? So second look, I take an I, and two take a second look. I don't know. I just put that together. I don't know if that's a reason, but why i2? How did that come up?
That goes way back to our founder Thomas Vegan.
Okay.
It was something that he had come along and um, it may have just sounded cool. It may have been I too would like to work in IT, but yeah, I mean, as far as the meaning behind it, it's something that we like to look at and say, I too am here with you and to support you.
Okay.
That is never just a one man team.
And I do like the new potential slogan, take a second look. All right, we're
Absolutely.
coming up here on time. We have about a minute and a half left in this. Before we go and close this podcast with you, if anyone is going to be watching this in the future or in the next few days, what is one thing you would like to say to an audience?
I would say find us at our website, i2secops.com. Reach out to us on LinkedIn. Give us a call. If you have any questions or would like to just have a conversation to see where we can support you, where we can provide that support that you're looking to continue succeeding with your business, with your operation, your team, give us a ring. Come talk to us. We'd love to talk to you.
All right, awesome. Thanks so much. Folks, if you're watching this, Austin Armstrong from i2secops and MSP operates throughout the whole United States. If you are looking for someone and Austin's philosophy and what he described resonates with you, go visit their website down below. I know they're busy are updating the website as well, so that is in the process as well. But go have a look at the website and connect with them. And Austin, you are on LinkedIn on your website, correct?
Yes. Yep. We
Okay.
have a link on there as well for our LinkedIn page. Yep.
Okay, fantastic. Awesome. Thanks for this time. It was a great conversation, and I really enjoyed learning a bit about the company and what's coming in the future. I think you got an amazing future ahead of you, and I wish you all the best.
Yeah, Dave, I appreciate the time.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for joining us, and we'll catch you on the next one. Have a great day.